We have a great product in the shop that we're excited to share with you. Check it out on our site.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm still getting ready. But no, what's going on? Before we get rolling, we will have Void Beast Chapter 4 ready for pre-order September 1st. I'm going with September 1st. I want to do it all on the website this time. I haven't done it this way, and in my attempts to make more of my time worth it in doing things at my own pace, I'm putting it on the website. I may go a certain way. Kickstarter has been nothing but successful for me. So it's not a thing about whatever hating Kickstarter and all this other stuff. I just want to do Void Beast 4 this way, and let's see how it goes. But because I like to do things at my own pace and stuff, I'm going to do it that way. I'm not too worried about how it may be, how it may be or turn out. So it is what it is. So Void Beast Chapter 4 will be available for pre-order on the Kachi Comics website September 1st. I'll have some extra stuff to come along with it. Collector's editions, shirts, some other stuff. But I'll put all that out later. But if you have not already, go to if you're on Instagram or whatever, you can click on my link and go to the mailing list and sign up for that. So you can get on there, get up on all the updates, because social media be tripping sometimes, whether I share it and all the other stuff or not. All that mess, you know how I go. Do all that social media stuff with it. But I'll be telling y'all on here too and stuff too. So it ain't like you ain't gonna see it. You'll see it either here on the emails or on the social media stuff. So today, go do that and go download your free copy of Souls of Chaos. We still got 1 and 2. A lot of y'all get 1, but don't seem to get 2. No, actually, like actually it's the reverse. A lot of people get 1 and 2 at the same time, but then some people just get 1. So go get 2 as well. Well, we're still working on that. We're still gonna get that done and everything. Just it's always business stuff for me. It's always some other stuff I gotta go handle and take care of for a time and then circle back, but it won't be too long. So get on that. And I think that's it with all of that stuff. We'll get some more of that later, but it is what it is. So this week in my entertainment stuff, let me see what's going on. So I finally got to watch The Sandman. And The Sandman was cool. Like I didn't have too much of an issue. The issues, I will say, is just my personal gripes. Again, when I say something is a gripe, it's not like this is definitive to where this makes this show horrible or something. For me, this is me talking. I'm always telling y'all, this is me talking. This ain't across the board. This ain't what everybody thinks. This is me talking. And as y'all know, I don't like most things, but Sandman was good. I didn't have a problem with the story was good. I will have to say, and if you haven't watched it, if you already know me, I'm talking about everything. If you a spoiler person and you ain't watched stuff, don't watch nothing I do. Just because I'm talking about everything. I am not skilled in the art of talking about something without talking about everything. I could, but it'll take away some of my momentum. So my momentum is more important. So I would have to say that from the first 5 episodes were the standout episodes to me, and they were amazing. Like as far as like the visuals, the storytelling, and everything, and I never really got into the comic book. I remember being in shops and stuff, and I would go in and kind of like read it, but I don't remember everything that went on with it. I would be standing around just kind of reading it, looking at it when I had like extra time and stuff like that. So I can't really judge whatever when it comes to the actual story. I didn't read the whole thing, so I'm just going purely off the show. And watch this. Watch how people say, you can't go by the comic book. You just let it be. But then when I say something about this, well, in the comic, there's no winning. There's no winning at all. There's just no winning. So one of the things that stood out to me was the amount of time the Sandman was caught, how the amount of time Morpheus was caught by these people, by what is it, Burgess or whatever it was. Something I don't watched it. I watched it like yesterday or a day ago, and I already forgot the names. I need to start writing this stuff down. But it amazed me, like yo, this dude was caught for like 100-something years and didn't talk. Like this shit is wild. I was like, this shit is wild as hell. So I like that the villain dude, what was his name, John or whatever. He was villain. He was interesting to a point because it was like I understood where he was coming from about the whole people telling the truth thing. I felt him on that to a certain extent. I was like, okay, I'm with you. But then when he turned it into some other shit, I was like, come on, man, you doing too much. And that's what it is with villains anyway. It was like you and your mama was wild, and now you doing wild shit. And it was just like, okay, whatever. So actually, I'm not going to tell too much about this because what I am going to talk about, though, is the portrayal of Black folks in the Sandman. And my God, it was like, what is going on with all of these Black characters? It was just, it was weird, especially like with the Black dudes. They were just kind of like, man, or they were demons, or they were some subservient, goofy dudes. And then it was like, especially the side characters, especially the side characters, they were just goofy. Like the woman Rose that was with John when he had got out of the like mental institution. It was weird because she was talking to him about people lying and stuff. And I was talking to my ladies about this. Like, wait, did y'all hear that? Like she said to him, and maybe I missed something. Like as always, I could have just missed something. She said to him that her husband was a liar. He asked about being liars and stuff. She said her husband was a liar, all this other shit, and that the liar was the worst thing you could do to a person. Then when John said, right after that, John was like, well, my mother, she lied. She immediately said, well, maybe your mother, well, you should still forgive her and everything. Wait, what? Like, if it's the worst thing you could do to a person, all this horrible shit when your husband did it to you because he had a woman across town, why is it that now the mother loved you, all this other stuff, and you should forgive her? I'm like, what? Like, what is this woman talking about? You goofies. You know what? Okay. All right. And I was just like, okay. It was like that was just, and then the Black dude that had the demon in him, he wanted to, when he was trying to marry the home. I was like, what is the matter with this guy? He's a subservient goofball. And then the same thing with the dude in the diner. Like this Black dude, what? Like y'all dumb as hell. Y'all dumb as hell. I swear, y'all dumb as bricks. And I was just like, oh God. But it didn't, that was a personal gripe. It wasn't like, again, it was a personal gripe. It didn't turn it into the worst TV show ever. None of that stuff that y'all be turning it into. Man, you say you ain't no, that's just a personal gripe. I still watched it, still liked it. It was still good storytelling and everything. So so I was like, okay, whatever with that, right? Like whatever with that. And then so I got kind of after 5 when Desire stuff kicked in, I was kind of like, okay, this is cool, but why didn't I see more of y'all throughout the story. Like I would have liked to see more of y'all throughout the story, like why everything else was going on. Because it's like the tension kind of broke for me. It's like it was a shift for me when after everything happened with John and the crystal was broken, and then he shifted to not knowing. Morpheus shifted kind of like, man, I done got my stuff back and it didn't work. After that, it was kind of like, okay, that's it then. And you see everything else going on, but it just wasn't hitting like what was going on before he got all his equipment back. And I thought that was cool. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. I'm not going. I know I spoiled some stuff here and there. Like I said, it's always what I do. But yeah, that's what it is. So I'm going to talk about the other thing I'm talking about is I'm gonna move on from Sandman. I'm gonna move on from that because I didn't have a big super gripe with that. Just the stuff that I mentioned. It is so. Next, what I've been seeing for She-Hulk, right? So Marvel She-Hulk came out. Was it Thursday? The Thursday or whatever, and I'm starting to notice the same thing. And I was waiting for She-Hulk. I was waiting for it. And for the most part, I don't have a problem with it. It's whatever. I didn't have a problem with the show. I don't have a problem with She-Hulk. I was waiting. Miss Marvel and She-Hulk were the ones I've been waiting for. And watching it, I didn't have a problem with it. But people were talking about some of the issues when the talk right now of it is the issue with She-Hulk supposedly talking about her being a better Hulk than Banner and how she can deal with her anger. Now, all of that is whatever, and I'll explain that first. So She-Hulk gets her powers because she gets cut, and then Banner is bleeding, and he gets some of his blood in her system. She becomes She-Hulk, right? He takes her, and they in some little remote spot in Mexico that Tony and Hulk built, and for him to get away, do his thing, and stuff like that. All that's going on. He's trying to teach her how to be a Hulk. She's saying she don't really need it, blah, blah, blah. And she tells him, and I'm paraphrasing, basically, I can do this and I can control my anger better because I deal with dudes. I get this and that at work. I'm a woman. I deal with this. And I can control my anger better than you because I have to do it all the time. And I'm like, okay. So my issue with that, and this is just because this is the conversation. If I probably would have called it, but I probably would have called that. So the conversation is that people are saying that dudes are being misogynistic and all sorts of stuff, and some of the talk I see from it, I do agree with some of the stuff she's saying. So it's usually twofold for me in my head. On one side, I think she's full of shit. But first, I agree with her because it is what she do. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through that. It is what women have to go through. That type of thing. It's some of the stuff that women have to go through, right? But where I don't agree with is, and on the flip side, where I think she's full of shit, is because that's some white woman shit. Now, you don't have to like it. You can call it whatever. But that's some white woman shit. Like you're saying this to a person, and the people that are fighting against it, well, that didn't make sense. It would make sense if it was directed at a person that hasn't done with what you're dealing with. Now, some people will say, well, she showed she can control it, and she showed she can do this and that. But this is somebody with he said 15 years plus of experience of dealing with this shit. And you telling him that I'm better than you, and you haven't even dealt with none of the issues that he's dealt with. You haven't dealt with any of it. You haven't been in any of these situations. You haven't even come remotely. He has you off trying to help you. And you're talking about you're better than him and you can deal with this issue that this person has dealt with for 15 plus years better than he has because you dealt with some goofy motherfuckers. That doesn't make logical sense. That's like me telling my instructor, even if I have certain skills that I'm better than you, and I've had no fight, I haven't won no tournament matches, I've barely sparred with anybody, I haven't done any of that, and somehow, hey, what's going on, man? Hey, what's going on? I'm good today. All of that, and somehow I'm better than you, and I can deal with these things. I can deal with these things better than you. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. It makes no logical sense. And this motherfucker's out here arguing that. That makes no sense. You haven't even dealt with, you've dealt with nothing that he's talking about. And agree. I can agree that Hulk kind of took her and was like, you putting her in goofy situations without knowing, but this is the stuff that he's went through. You know, there's no other person like him. So part of the scientific process is figuring out what's going on, right? Even engineers is like, okay, we haven't dealt with this before. I know I've dealt with this. I've written down all of these issues. Even if I was programming a damn robot, it's like, okay, I know all of these issues I'm going to take. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to put it on this robot. Okay, this one didn't do this, but this stress test still needs to happen so that we know it can go through its paces and it won't break if the payload is too big when we're putting this in the arm tool, and can it lift and do all this stuff. You go through that, right? Scientifically and engineering wise. And you telling me, and the whole time it's like, I can do it. It's like, what? This is stupid. And you're telling me, even though I've been through all this, that what I've been through is nothing. So, and then the other thing is like, okay, so you can deal with it so well, right? Like, you lost your mind, even though you still had your sense when you came out you busted out the little thing with the helmet, you busted out, you still had your sense. But before that, you got cut, you ran off into the woods, and you was acting like a Hulk, right? Right. So she was acting like a Hulk, losing her dang mind. Okay, that was the first time. Then the second time, you said that I could do that, I could get catcalled, I can do it my anger better. But then you were just dealing with some goofy motherfuckers that were trying to talk to you because the girls dressed you up like a hoe with some hoe heels on. And that's fine. That's fine. That's what the ladies had. They was helping her out. I ain't mad at her. That's not the issue. But they dressed you up in some hoe heels and stuff. And you lost your shit. Like you just said that you can deal with this better because you deal with dudes and stuff like that all the time. You're getting catcalled. You got catcalled by some goofy dudes, and then you and then you got angry and hulked up. Like, nobody's not seeing that she just did that. Like, we just gonna say, yeah, you're right. That makes perfect sense what you just said. After you just showed that you couldn't deal with it, not with the thing that's happening to you now, not with since you got the blood and you became a Hulk. Not since then, you couldn't deal with it. You showed that you couldn't deal with it. So why are we sitting here listening to this, trying to, that make more sense. She goes, because she's wrong and she got to deal with this. That make perfect sense. It don't make sense. We just watched her lose her shit for being catcalled. Like, how did that work? And I'm not saying you don't have a right. I'm not saying she doesn't have a right, or no woman. I'm not saying that they don't have a right to be upset. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in what the example she used, she went on to do that before. She's saying I can control it and I'm better than you at it, but she already proven that she wasn't. What did I say? Exactly. It was like, so what she's saying was, I was in control the whole time, and I was about to murder these dudes. So there's no other person in here. They catcalling me. I'm about to take their heads off. If that's what she felt like she needed to do, I don't necessarily agree that it ends in death, but she would have did what she did. And it's like, you were in control though. So you were in control and you were about to murder these dudes or beat the piss out of them. And that's what Hulk is telling you about the whole time. But the whole time you talking about, I'm better than you, you ain't shit. And then the other thing that got me, again, I like the show so far. It's just that some of the stuff that I'm seeing, it's not clicking. Like, and maybe I'm missing something. Y'all will tear it apart now, and I'll look at some of it, and that's fine. It is what it is. But the other thing was like, it's like, oh, your blood, it healed me and helped me. I was like, what? Like, and I and it makes sense. Like her blood may react to a different. I understand that, but I'm like, healed him instantly. Are we not like so? So they just they just nerfing. They just making the whole like what? Like this dude, we've seen him get beat the fuck up, get punched, beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up, and then he turns to the Hulk and everything's fine, right? And then after he goes back and it's like, ow, that hurt a little bit, but he heals. He heals. Like whether he's the Hulk or he transfers back and forth, he heals. Now suddenly she's the one that's causing him to heal instantaneously and all this other stuff, and I'm like, that doesn't. Okay, I guess. Marvel, y'all wild. Y'all wild. Like, I can't even call that one. So I can't even call that one. So I'm like, this don't. So now the Hulk, I understand, but why? This I seen somebody say something, and I have to agree. It's like, why does the Hulk have to keep getting diminished to build somebody else back up? Like, this isn't what the Hulk can do. And it goes back to my gripe about the Hulk being nerfed. The Hulk, I see the meme where people's like, we wanted this, but we got this with Hulk, like doing this little handstand, like yoga pose thing. That's not the issue for me. That's not the issue. That's never the issue because he needs to do that to keep himself calm. And that was part of how it kept him from causing issues. Is how he became peaceful with oh yeah. I remember that part. Like automatically, it was somebody bust you upside your head. Like what? Like nobody did ask questions. It was automatically just some dude bust you upside your head, and we gonna make you up and put you in some whole heels and send you back out there. But hey, you know what? We know who right did it. It is what it is. But I'm like that. It's like, oh, I can heal because of you. I was like, what? Like, what? That don't you can build her up without breaking him down. Oh, what I was saying was him being in his little handstand and the yoga stuff. That's not an issue with the Hulk. That's for me. When I see that meme, I'm like, it's he. But that's not an issue with nerfing him like that. The issue was doing stuff like that, like, oh, I couldn't heal myself, and I'm just this big dumb dude that just I'm messed up and I couldn't do any of this. And I guess his arm was still busted from doing the snap. And I'm just like, what? That doesn't Jesus Christ, that doesn't make sense. And it's like we know that he heals from this stuff. We know it. But now it's because of She-Hulk, and it's like there's these things that consistently beating this dude over the head. Even like I said, again, the yoga thing ain't the issue. I'll go into the other stuff because I just thought about something else. Even in the one with Edward Norton, he was in Brazil with Hickson Gracie doing Hickson's breathing techniques. And even when I seen it in that movie, I was like, yep, that's something the Hulk would do. He would do the breathing techniques to help him control when the Hulk comes and how to and to calm himself down so he can breathe through the issues and stuff like that. None of that's an issue. Him being in handstands and doing yoga, all that stuff isn't a problem. But the dude was still tearing shit up. The issue was where you're not giving him, you're nerfing him, then you got it to where he's able to heal himself magically because of She-Hulk and all this other stuff. And not just that, even in the other films, he getting pieced up and then he's not doing anything. He's just a background character. And it's like, come on, man. Really? Like, you let the Hulk do certain things, and now it's just like, he's just a background character. She-Hulk talking about she better than him. She-Hulk is just able to run with him and do all this. She able to just fight him, and it's like he should have just stopped her. Yeah, they did, and I don't care what nobody say. They have screwed him over again. The yoga stuff ain't whatever. That's whatever. That's not an issue. This is what he does to help control himself. But I did like so that was part of my issue. That was my issue with She-Hulk. And you can call it whatever you want to. I'm fine. But a lot of people, but again, a lot of this is used as marketing. A lot of the negative is used as marketing. And I'm starting to catch it. I'm starting to catch it over and over again. Granted, there are people that do that goofy shit, like, oh, she a woman, this and that. There are people that do stupid shit like that. But I really think a lot of it is starting to become a shield for Marvel in a lot of these places for how terrible they doing stuff. It's like the stuff that you're doing don't make sense. Like, I don't have no problem with it being a woman, with whoever. But the stuff you're doing don't make no goddamn sense. And it's weak. You're not gonna tell me that you can control anger better than the person that's been doing it for 15 years dealing with a whole fucking monster. And then being catcalled and all this other stuff, I can control it better. But I just watched you 5 minutes ago lose your shit. And you also showed that you can control it, so you can control what you were doing. You did it on purpose because you got bothered, and then you were about to murder people before he hopped on you. You're not going to have me sit there and be like, she got a point. She right. She right. She right. No, she's wrong. I'm not going to. It was stupid. That was dumb to add, even though I just watched you almost take off some jerks' heads, some goofy motherfuckers' heads. So that's my thing. So I've seen the argument. I've seen it. And on both sides, I think people are doing whatever. But I also think, like I said, a lot of this is marketing for Disney. And I think, and I'm starting to see that it seems like a lot of these arguments are paid for and started out with, because it's like when it comes to these shows, because you didn't see any of this when it came to stuff like Hawkeye. You don't see this. So any of the ones with the women is automatically, you just hate it because you're a woman, because these people are women, and it's like, okay, all right, really? Like Black Panther, there's a bunch of talk with Black Panther, but I don't like Black Panther. No, I like Black Panther. I don't care about the Wakanda shit the way the MCU did it. That's what I don't care about. And I don't not at all. There's no reason. There's no reason unless that 15-year vet is trash. There's no way I'm gonna go up and even be able to hang with an instructor that's a black belt from any of my days training. None. And they had her hanging doing all the stuff. And it's like, and granted, it was a little weaker than his, but it was like, this shouldn't even exist. This shouldn't even be a competition. Like none of this. This doesn't make sense. But I get what they're doing. But it's a lot of it is marketing. Just like I said, I've said this before, like with Issa's whole thing with the white chick that was rapping for that rap shit show. It's like they use the negative to market the shows now. They use a lot more the negative. So even with Black Panther, it's a lot of the stuff has always been so overwhelming that it's drummed up. The positive has always drowned out everything else. And this is just from my perspective. I don't like the whole Wakanda thing. I don't like Wakanda for the reasons that a lot of other people, Wakanda didn't come back. It didn't do nothing. And then when people started doing stuff into their own hands, they started hurting people because you ain't helping other people, the other black folks that you can help. I always not like Wakanda for that. It's like, yo, now you can argue whatever. Go argue and do all other shit with everybody else. It ain't changing my mind. But the thing about it is there's the positivity drowned out everything with Black Panther. So there was no need to run the little goofy campaigns with that. But the ones that they think are not going to get as much shine as some of the other ones, or the ones that they just kind of throw together and put out in front of people, it seems like, and you can say it seems like it didn't it seems like they go straight to the woman thing or the religion thing or whatever. They go straight to that every time to drum up interest for the show. Like, for instance, even with Doctor Strange, there was no, I didn't see, not from like meme type stuff. And I know it's mean, but I meant like, anyway, from memes and like websites talking about anything with Wanda in there. Like there wasn't, what, women, and you just hate women. That didn't happen with Doctor Strange, even though Wanda was the main bad. And I'm like, okay, why didn't that happen why didn't y'all play it with that? Is it just because Wanda was a piece of shit? Like compared to any of these other people, Wanda was a piece of shit. And it was just, that didn't go on with that one. And that's the goofy thing. It's like that she can't. No, okay. But it's looking like that from what I've heard about Star Wars. Again, I ain't watched it, so I gotta go watch it. Maybe I'll come back and talk about it after I watch it. And it's just a thing where it's like they're using a lot of this for attention for the show. Now, that's part of the reason. The issue is that people decide to go out and review bomb and all this other stuff, so it does give it attention for the people that are like that. But overall, they put it out there like it's supposed to mean something, and it don't mean shit. It's a goofy ass comic book character. It doesn't mean anything. Not to me. Not to me. Not to me. Across the board, to other people, it may mean something, but it don't mean nothing. But I'm starting to think that a lot of it is just prepackaged opposition that they use for the show. Because like the first Wonder Woman, I don't remember the first Wonder Woman getting this. I don't remember the first Wonder Woman getting any of this. Then I don't remember what the second Wonder Woman getting it until it came out. And then people started talking about, because women, but the second movie sucked. The first one was amazing. I love the first one. I love the first Wonder Woman movie. That was cool. The second one, I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. So, and I could be wrong, but I think a lot of it is built-in opposition for marketing. That's what I think a lot of it is. And I'm not saying a bunch of the dudes ain't whatever, that they ain't full of shit, and it's like, oh, and I also think a lot of it is they're using white dudes against a lot of people too. It's prepackaged. It's a thing where it's like, oh my God, I ain't standing up. I ain't trying to be like I'm white. It's not like I'm standing up for white dudes or like that. But it's just the thing where it's like, well, a bunch of men in their 30s, white, came in and reviewed bondage. So then everybody else will be like, what, these white dudes are crazy. I'm gonna go watch it. No, I've been waiting for the character, so it is what it is. But I just think that putting that in and then having this little argument around it is stupid, because I just watched you lose again. I'm going back to it. It doesn't make sense. And it's like, you can say, just the more I think about it, it makes sense. Or this and that, or that makes sense. Or it doesn't make sense. Because if you're showing that you can control yourself, you're in your right mind, you're not losing it like him, you were just about to knock some heads off for some goofy dudes for catcalling you. So you're not better than him. You're not. So, okay. But overall, I liked it, and I like the direction it's going. And I'm going to watch all of it, and not, as long as it's not, long as it's like, and I'm hoping that like Hulk is gone. After that, I'm hoping that he's gone. Don't show him again, please don't. I don't want to see none of that, because you're just missing a lot of stuff that dude done went through. You're just missing it, like the 15 plus years that what you went through, they weren't shit that you went through as a Hulk. None of this stuff matters. It don't. The stuff that you're telling me, none of it matters. None of it makes sense. And I'm just here to I'm just going to go do my thing. And that's not a problem. Going back to the life you want and doing whatever, that's not an issue. That's not the issue. But when somebody that has more experience across galaxies, worlds, it's like this motherfucker that went across galaxies, that went across universes, different worlds, all kind of shit. And you telling this motherfucker that you telling this dude that I can do this better than you. Like, what? Okay. But I did like that they were like, they caused a car accident. And now that you said it, I agree. Like, why didn't the women think it was a car accident? Like, it wasn't like, hey girl, you in a car accident? You okay? It's automatically somebody beat your motherfucking ass. Some dude bust you upside your head. Oh God. Oh, that's some white woman shit. That's some white woman shit. But I ain't mad at it. I'm still gonna watch it. I still like She-Hulk. But I did like that Hulk mentioned that it was he said it was a car ship that caused the issue, which goes into the whole War Hulk and Planet Hulk stuff they talking about doing and everything later. I'm cool with that. I thought it was weird at the end, the little fight that they had. That fight was so weird. And I know that it was 30 minutes, but it was weird. It was like, bang, boom, bop, done. And I was like, I didn't judge. I thought y'all was gonna just kind of like ease this into the next one. That was weird. It was like it was just like bing bang bop and we over and we going to the next one. So I was like, what are we talking about with the end? Let me know what you talk about with the end, and then I can go on with that. I did like that they had her breaking the fourth wall and talking to people because she was the first one. If she was one of the first, if not the first one to really do the whole fourth wall breaking thing. So I was like, okay, they gave her, they let her do that and everything. So, I mean, that's whatever. And then the other thing is like even with the whole, I can do this better than you thing. I'm like, what? I'm going back to it. Cause it's like, and again, 1 minute y'all say that I need to go read the comic. And then the next minute, folks are saying you can't read the comic. So fuck EDE, folks. So fuck whatever y'all talking about on either side. It's whatever. Exactly. It was like, okay, so girl came in, knocked the wall over, pop, bop. She did a fly. She did a weak Luke Cage kick, like ah, and then it was just over. Eve music played. Cue to Eve, and I was like, oh, okay, yay. She busted up. I don't know. I didn't. My thing was that I didn't think about it that way. Like she didn't want the powers, and she was willing to let people die to not use her powers. And like I didn't think about it that way, and that's wild because it was like you can control your shit so much, but you was willing to kill somebody for your own selfish reasons with these same powers. So I. So I mean, as always, it's just a thing where it's like I see these things, but I'm not supposed to talk about it. And if I do talk about it, I get called scary names, or you get called scary names. It's like, well, I'm just have to get called scary names and be known as that because we're not gonna do ignorant shit in front of me that don't make no damn sense. And I'm just supposed to say, no, yeah, I don't want to be a misogynist, so I don't want to be. That makes perfect sense. It was dumb. And I like She-Hulk. Again, I like her. And I'm ready. As long as Hulk, which I hope he's not, I'm ready to see what they do with her character and everything. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. Like, we know that that She-Hulk loses her shit a lot of times. Courtrooms, everything else. She's lost her shit plenty of times. And she will continue to. So I'm supposed to sit here and believe that? Like she get mad and people go, "Ooh, you make me mad," and she run after people and run up on folks and stuff too. So I'm like, why are y'all why it goes back to why are y'all doing Banner like that? Why are y'all doing him like that? Because he's a cool character, but now you playing this you ain't shit, so we gonna let her talk crazy to you. Yes. She-Hulk was breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, y'all. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong and stuff. But from what I remember, that's what was going. From she was breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool and stuff. So the end, I'm like, okay, I need to really see her get down, and that's part of the issue with me. And I hope that I get to see more of it with her because I like watching the Hulk's fight. Now, this is across the board, whether it's She-Hulk or Bruce Hulk. I like seeing it was extremely disrespectful. Okay. So yeah. She was breaking it before Deadpool. Okay, cool. I like watching the Hulk's fights and seeing them on TV. I'm like, okay, I'll get to see them fight. So I'm hoping that it's not I get to see these feats that they do live action. That's why I like the Hulk and stuff too. It's like growing up seeing the what's going on, man? What's going on? I'm happy you're here. It's good to see you up here. It's like growing up, I was watching the old Hulk with Lou Ferrigno and shit. I was like, man, this is even when I was a child. I was like, he ain't doing none of the stuff I see them do before. I don't know, man. I'm reading the comic book and I'm seeing them do all kind of stuff that I'm watching Lou Ferrigno. It was cool, but I was like, I don't know. But now you got the ability to do these things. So when I'm seeing Hulk sideline, and I don't mind him getting beat up by Thanos, that's fine. That's whatever. Part of the story, whatever. But not seeing him do his thing where I'm like, yo, the Hulk could have been running through a bunch of these people. You just got him over here in a damn suit doing some goofy shit. And then even with She-Hulk, I'm like, oh God, please. The thing that is, I'll tell y'all right now, before it even happens, before the show gets really rolling, I will tell you right now, I will get up here and say I can't stand. I'm not saying I can't stand it. I'm griping about that one little conversation, but she was always, to be honest, she was always kind of written like that from that whole feminist woman power stuff, even back then by the dudes. She was always kind of written like that. Now, do I have to like it? No, I don't have to fucking like it, but that's what it was. Do I have to agree with everything? No. Even with black characters, I don't agree with everything. So take it how you want to. But hearing it, it's like, come on, really? But what will get me a lot of them are funny. Like a lot of that stuff is funny now. It's not even like, oh my God, this is horrible. I thought this was cool. And it was for its time. It was what it was for what they could do back then. But what will get me to get up here and say that I can't stand this motherfucking show is if they play it to where it's just and I'm thinking they might go this route because of the whole attorney at law thing. It's like where they're going to confine her to the courtroom and just have her do some little bitty here and there stuff. That's what's going to piss me the fuck off. Like, I want to watch the Hulks go through their normal stuff, but really tear shit up. Because that's what they do. Like, I like the cartoon, the little silly cartoon, the Hulks, Agents of Smash, because it was like, they were going through all this stuff. She-Hulk popped up, Blue Hulk, all that. And they were tearing shit up. You know what I'm saying? They were doing stuff. They was like, okay, I can see the Hulk's doing that. But if that's my issue with the Hulk in the past few movies, it's like, okay, he did a little, but he wasn't doing much. And I'm like, yo, this dude would tear up. This is you got an arena that you could just drop him in. Just blip, 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 blip. With the whole when they were on the first Infinity War Endgame, there were so many situations where you just could have had him in the background tearing shit up, just taking off arms, throwing people and tearing up ships, all kind of stuff. But they didn't do that with him. And I'm like, okay, that's why in the first Avengers, it's like, okay, cool. Hulk is doing what the Hulk do. I'm cool with that. Now, with She-Hulk, it's looking like they gonna nerf this woman. And I'm not gonna like that. I'm not going to like it. Now the courtroom stuff, all that, her doing everything, and I know that's more than her character. That's not all she do. I know, but as a Hulk, that's what I'm coming here for. That's what me personally. I like the courtroom stuff. I know she dating dudes, and all that don't matter to me. I'm coming to watch a Hulk do some stuff, be put in unique situations, and see how a Hulk would deal with that. That would be, and just let them. I mean, have some story, but have a bunch of instances where they're just running wild. And so I don't. That was the thing about with the first movie, and then even with on the TV shows, yeah, if they're just doing all that, it's like for instance with the TV shows, Daredevil was amazing to me. Now this isn't this ain't everybody, this ain't across the board, but to me, you came here to hear my perspective, not throw what everybody else is talking about on me. Take that shit somewhere else. But Daredevil was cool because I'm like, okay, I know about Matt, I know about this and that, but let me see what they do, especially when it came to fighting, because fighting isn't just Edward. I don't care what nobody say. Ed Norton's Hulk was the best one. I went to that movie. I was like, oh, this is amazing. That I loved that movie. Loved it. And again, the God Butcher didn't do no God Butcher. He killed one. It was like, eh. And that's the thing. They're not doing what they should be. And getting to what I was going to get to, like in Daredevil, fighting is a language. The Hulk tearing up shit is a type of language. And when you take that from him, he's not able to speak to people the way he has in the comics and everything else. Fighting is a language. And people get it. But folks want to turn it into, you don't know this, you don't know that, you misogynist, you this, that, you just don't know. No. Fighting and him running around doing what the Hulk do is a form of him talking and speaking to us and conveying how he feels. Even fighting styles are a language. From Hoist Gracie style to Usman style to they just got beat up. To Israel Adesanya style to Chuck Liddell style to Sanchez style to all of these. There's a language in it. To Marilla Bustamante style, all of them. It's a language. And with Daredevil, hallway scene, and all his other fights, you got to see what we thought, what looked like, what was conveyed to us that Daredevil would fight like in the comic books, especially when he first started out, without all the swinging around and stuff, how he was getting down with people in the comic books and how he would do it in there. And it was like that language was spoken to us in those scenes. So when you watched him, it was like, okay, I'm watching him be Daredevil, beating heads in, and he's going through it. He's getting beat the hell up. But I'm also watching him in these other situations in the courtroom and stuff like that. If they take that from She-Hulk, it's going to be like, and I'm going to be on the bandwagon and watch. They're going to play more of that. Oh, you don't like it because she a woman and she this and that. Even though you're taking away one of her ways to convey who she is to us through like the books and stuff. So if that happens, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get up here every week, every Sunday, and I'm gonna just be talking mad shit. And it's gonna be, you don't like women, you don't like this and that. But no, if they were to ticket, and I'm gonna go to something else after I read this. I love the first two Daredevils, especially when the Punisher popped up. And so you're taking who she is away. So, for instance, the issue with Iron Fist, for one, the actor was bad. It was just, oh god, and his fighting was trash, and they didn't convey what we thought Iron Fist was. Like you have the fighting, and the other people are like, okay, they cool, but this guy is trash. So I was like, what the? But it's whatever. I'm not gonna talk. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna go to something that I understand a little bit more. Luke Cage. Now, I like Luke Cage for almost everybody in I think his name was Michael Coulter. I didn't think he did a bad job. It's not about him doing a bad job. But I feel like they took away how we knew Luke Cage by having Coulter's Cage be like this old passive dude to a yeah, they could have kept that. They didn't even have to put that out. But I felt like with Luke Cage, they kind of did the Hulk thing with him. It was just bing, 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 you shoot bullets, blah, 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 and he didn't do anything fantastical. And then the whole thing with him constantly being, man, I don't want to do none of this. Man, I don't want to do this. Man, I don't want. It's like, my dude, go handle business. It was like, what the? Oh my God, this is getting old. Now, it took away the language that, and me reading, I got Luke Cage books in my house. It was like, I never thought that you're taking away that Luke Cage gonna bust some heads and do what he got to do. He ain't gonna be, man, what I gotta do? Oh my God, I don't want to. I don't want. And it was just like, what? It felt like they took away the way he spoke to us in the comics. Fighting is a language. No matter if Mike Tyson has a language. If you think about Mike Tyson's style and how he communicates with his fighting, is not the same way that Mayweather did or Ali did or Holyfield or Foreman. It's not the same. They're not the same styles. Tyson got a more vicious, in-your-face style. Foreman had a big guy, I'll club you to death style. Ali had a faster poke. I'm gonna catch you. You gonna have to catch. You ain't gonna be able to touch me, but I'm gonna pop you to death. I'm gonna jab you and jab. Then I'm gonna take you out, and I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna get through these rounds. Everybody has a style, so when you take that from some of these characters, it turns them into bleh. And I feel like they took that from Luke Cage as well, and it nerfed him to me too. So then again, taking that, let me go to one more person before I move back to She-Hulk. I like the Punisher. Oh my God! In the second season of Daredevil, I like the Punisher, and I've heard people talk about it recently, and I have to agree that his whole conversation with Daredevil in season 2 was amazing, because it was like when they were on the rooftop and he told Daredevil that you're a half measure. It's like they come to you, you do whatever to them, they pop back up. That you put them down, they pop back up. I put them down, they stay down. And it was like, and I was like, thank you. And it was just like, I was cool with that. And even with those conversations, like, okay, this is Frank. But then when he fought, it was like when he fought and he did what he did, no matter if it was in the jail, when he was by himself, or whatever the case may have been, I felt like that fight was conveying to me that this is Frank Castle. This is something that I would see Frank Castle go through, and this is what he would do. That language made sense to me with what he was doing. And then on his show, when it proceeded to keep going and how he handled situations, it wasn't a thing of, oh man, I don't want to do that, I don't want this, I don't want that. It was like, no, I'm going to go kill these people because they are against what I believe. They got Cage over here being unsure what he's doing. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Man, I said maybe it never has that way, and I can just take some bullets. And it was like, this ain't what the Luke Cage are, because the Luke Cage I know would go and be like, hey, I'm going to take me some money and do this too, and I'm busting folks up in the head, and then we're going to do what we got to do. Punisher got to keep his language. In the Disney films, not the Disney films, sorry, Jesus. In the Netflix show, just all over the place, just speaking too fast. I do a lot of that. But in the Netflix show, Punisher was able to keep his language when it came to the fighting. So I like that. Same thing with Daredevil. Daredevil was able to keep it. Not so much with Iron Fist, because the actor, he was trash and he wasn't working out the way he was supposed to. And then the same thing with Luke Cage for me. He wasn't able to keep it. And then the same thing with the Hulk after a while. The problem isn't for me. When people talk about it's because he got smart. No, it's not. It's not that he got smart. Because it wasn't like just because he got smart, it took away his strength and stuff. It wasn't that. He could still do all that stuff. you took away his language, and he communicates with us through the way he fights and how he fights and when he rages out. That's a way for him to communicate. So you're talking to us, we see you there, but you're not talking to us the way that the other characters are. Thor is, Captain America is, Winter Soldier was, Black Panther was, all these other people were, and we got this dude just doing nothing. And so going back to She-Hulk, first episode, whatever, I'm still rocking. I like She-Hulk. I didn't like that one part. It was goofy. They did bad or dirty, whatever. But if I go in and then the next episode, especially if it's another 30 minutes, the next episode is 30 minutes, and yeah, that was weird. If it's another episode and it's just 30 minutes and they just go through it, it's like, okay, she's dating people. I ain't got no beef with that because that's what She-Hulk do and shit. If I knew I could do whatever, I ain't gonna be in no kind of trouble. I ain't got no beef with that. That's whatever. The courtroom stuff, right? And then everything else. But if it's just she doesn't get to do what a Hulk does, then I'm gonna have beef with it. Because again, for me, this is me, and I just explained all of it. I'm gonna say it again, and I don't mind repeating myself because a lot of y'all like to turn shit into other stuff. If it takes away what a Hulk does when it comes to the fighting and stuff, it loses some of its umph for me. You take away the language and how this character speaks to people. You can't do that. And well, you can. It's not that you can't. You can't do it. But you can't expect me to believe that I'm a misogynist or somebody is a misogynist or something because they hate women because you nerfing the character that I like and then you turn her into some more bullshit. And it was just, and for me, it was even with Captain Marvel, it was the opposite. Like the fantastical stuff, bugging through ships, blasting people. Oh, I'm like, okay, this is some Captain Marvel shit. But then when she spoke and everything else, it was kind of like, is this the character that I like? This can't be. This, she's a bitch. Like I don't like you. I don't like you. It's like, it was the same thing with Iron Fist. It was like, and even with Luke Cage, like I didn't like Luke Cage that much. It was like, is this the dude that I like, that I bought books from, that I watched him fight the Punisher, and him and the Punisher went back and forth with each other? Is this the dude I watched fight Tombstone and some other people? Is this? He's a bitch. Like I didn't. I like the bad guys. I like Cottonmouth. I like all of them, even in the second season. I like the bad dude in there too. I forgot his name. Bushmaster. I like Bushmaster. All of it. But I didn't like Cage that much. And then same thing with Iron Fist. I'm like, is this the martial artist that I like? Like, he's a punk bitch. Like, I don't like. You got the fighting part, but then what's the and that's what I guess makes Steve and Steve. I guess that's what makes Steve Rogers and people like Iron Man stand out so much, because it's like you got both sides. When they were out of the suit and when they were in the suit, everything for the most part just kind of lined up. It kind of lined up to where it's like, oh, okay. And even with Spider-Man boy, the MCU Spider-Man currently, it's like it lined up. And same thing with Black Panther. I didn't like some of the things he decided to do, whatever. But overall, I did like Black Panther. And even when he told them that they were wrong about what they did, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm rocking with you. I understand. It was like you got it in and out the suit, but that's the issue with the Hulk. It's like you're not, and I hope this isn't going to be the issue with the Hulks, to where She-Hulk, she just partying and doing whatever, and we don't get to see her do the Hulk part. And I'm like, what? Come on, man. Like, oh, God. I watched her because she's the She-Hulk, and I know she's strong. I know she can bust heads. I know she can tear some shit up. I know that she's going to be enjoying her being the Hulk and how she can use it to her advantage. I know that. Whether it's dealing with dudes, whether it's dating certain dudes, whether it's whatever, whether it's being the She-Hulk in court and getting attention, whatever. I know that's going to happen. And I don't have a beef with that. But don't turn the character into some where it's just this big green woman in court. Like, you're taking away the language that I understand with this character, and you're giving me some other language that I don't understand with this character. Fighting is a language. The Hulk doing what he do and what she do is a language. You can't fault people for noticing that you took away how they speak to us. You mad? You all this planned marketing and goofy shit that people are saying. It's like you mad at people for saying that, yo, the way they communicated who they were to us, you're taking it away. And then you turn it into, oh, you sexist, oh, you dumb, oh, you just think it's because he got smart. No, it's because he's not using the language that that you guys have come to have us get used to, that you have us understand and stuff. So it is what it is. So if I'm getting a little bit of She-Hulk fighting and she doing the Hulk thing and stuff, it's like, okay, cool. It ain't got to be over the top, but come on, do some Hulk shit. Like do some Hulk shit. Like even with what happened with the throw the table and stuff. Like at the end of the last episode, I was like, bing, bang, bop. Cue Eve. And it's like, okay, all right, if this is what I'm gonna get, I'm gonna have beef. So y'all go ahead and get ready to call me everything in the book. You a misogynist? This dude hate women. He hate white women, black women. It's just go ahead and get ready because I'm going to talk about it. I'm going. Yeah, he's part of the ones just downvoting it because it's a woman. Just go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and do that because it's gonna happen. So it is what it is. We'll see how it go. But so far, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with the character. Just don't keep doing Bruce dirty. Like, don't keep doing Bruce dirty. The Hulk is one of my favorite characters, and it's like, and She-Hulk is. I like She-Hulk too. So outside of that, it's not like, oh my God, this is the worst. That I didn't feel. I actually like She-Hulk. The last two, again, I've liked so far. I liked Miss Marvel a lot. That's my favorite show. Outside of the last episode or the last two episodes of Loki are like my favorite, just because of Jonathan Majors, him popping up. That stands out to me more than any of them. But as far as the whole show, Miss Marvel so far. Miss Marvel in the last episode of Loki. I love that last episode of Loki. And Miss Marvel, I liked her whole thing because I cared about her. I cared about what she was doing. I cared about what she was going through. I didn't like some of the stuff they put in there, like with the religion thing and stuff. Not her religion, but how they talk against it. It's like, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? It's like, this some old Americanized shit, because here we go, putting our American spin on bullshit. All right. So it is what it is. That's how I felt about that. But I'm hanging in there with She-Hulk. I like the character. I want to see what else they're going to do with the show. And if something else pop up, I'll talk about that. But again, I like the character. I want to see more of her. Hopefully they'll keep her languages in the busting heads and yanking some people up, because She-Hulk is known to lift a motherfucker up and shake him. So she better be shaking some motherfuckers. If she not, I'm like, y'all think we stupid, huh? And so it is what it is. But as usual, go to the website, get your books, go to akachicomics.com, get Void Beast, all that stuff. I will have Void Beast Chapter 4 up for pre-order. And it'll be physical copies. I'm going to do physical copies. That's what I was gonna say. It'll be physical copies. I have physical copies. I'll get them out to people, and then after that, ain't gonna be no I gotta watch the Dragon Ball movie. I gotta watch it. Somebody sent me the link to it, and then I didn't watch it. Got busy. I have to watch it. So, and I know what the gist of it is, and I've heard the spoiler stuff and everything. I know what happens in the end. I know all of that, but it doesn't matter. I still have to watch it. I have to watch it for myself. That's not a spoiler thing for me. That's like, yo, I have to watch it. So yeah. But I will say, like the stuff that they do in the Super, that is some wild shit. Like this is the direction y'all come. This is why I understand some people's gripes with Dragon Ball. Like with this whole thing with, if you ain't read the manga, get the fuck out the room, or you don't want to hear about it. But it's like, you don't brought Frieza back, and now this motherfucker call it he Black Frieza. I'm like, really? Like, what? You can, and he come out and he just kill the heaters, and they just, what? This is why people say Dragon Ball ain't shit, because of that goofy shit right there. Like, I swear for God, you could have had a whole thing with the heaters and made somebody new. You wiped them out and brought Frieza's goofy ass back, and he got a new power set. Like, how many times do I have to watch this shit? How many times do I have to watch this same shit if I'm rocking with you? That don't make, you know what? But people are gonna argue it away, and maybe I'll talk about this more. So I may talk about this more later on, but I'm not gonna get into that. After I watch the movie, I'll talk more about all that. But I'm going to have physical copies of Void Beast Chapter 4. I have that one, the special edition one. I have shirts, and I believe I may have some posters. I think we'll see what's going on. I'll be all over the place, but this one is the culmination of some things in 3 that people said I left you guys kind of just hanging with. I did. I'm sorry. So you'll see what happens after, how the fight continues and what goes on with TJ and the crew and the other werewolves in Chapter 4, and it kind of leads to some more shit. But you'll see some of the people in Texas, my Texas folks, they were at DreamCon. They already got it. They know what it is. I sold out of all of them because they had already had 3 and 4 and everything. I mean 2 and 3. So they're doing that also. We got it in a few comic book shops. I made a post about that. Go in there and ask for it by name and stuff, because that's one of the ways we can keep it going, especially in the Milwaukee area. You can go on my post on Facebook and on Instagram, see it. And I appreciate that. Always appreciate it. It can be now, it can be later. I'm here. I'm happy that you here and you hung out the whole time and spoke, brother. So I ain't got no beef with you. I know you. This is another way of support, and I just appreciate you even spending your time with me. Yeah, all of y'all, actually. All of y'all that stayed or even stayed a little bit, I appreciate y'all spending your time with me, because I'm just talking crazy. I'm just having fun talking crazy with y'all. So, however you decide to support this, supporting and kicking it in here, whether you spoke, whether you left a comment, you talked, whatever, I appreciate it. It's all fun. We all just having fun, man. At the end of the day, I want y'all to know all this stuff about these comics and stuff. Don't let that stuff get to you. People be calling you names, talking about you a misogynist because you don't like, or women are stupid because they don't understand. Don't let none of that shit fuck with you. This is some old imaginary shit that somebody made up, that folks are getting mad, talking crazy about each other. Ain't no woman dumb because she don't get whatever, or she don't want to watch certain animes and stuff. And everybody ain't no damn misogynist because they don't agree with what they see with this comic book character. Y'all turning this into some other deep-seated shit to where y'all promoting for all this stuff. Get that goofy shit out of here, man. We just having fun with this stuff and talking about it. That's it. But if that's the road you want to go down, you can go down that road too. But keep it respectful. So yeah, we'll be getting Void Beast out. I'll get that to y'all. And like I said, Lost World of Wonders in Milwaukee. I'm gonna get it into some other spots as well. Call them. ask for them. That's how we can keep them in there. Again, if you have time, call number, ask for it. Ask for Void Beast or any of the Kachi comics from by author Matthew Jones. All that stuff that'll help out. That'll keep things rolling. And I'll do some more with them and everything. I'll do some more traveling. Hopefully, I'll be able to hit more cons next year than I was this year. That's kind of the plan of what I'm working on. So we can get Void Beast 5 done, and then the Extraordinary Messiah 3, Souls of Chaos 3, all of that. If you're not on the mailing list, get on there. Go to the website, akachicomics.com. Download Souls of Chaos 1 and 2. Get the Extraordinary Messiah as well. And if you want physical copies of Void Beast, next month will be the month to get physical copies of 4. After that, I'm going to go back to just kind of stepping back because I got business stuff that I got to handle, whether it's some, I ain't telling y'all all that stuff. Some of y'all be taking shit too far. So, and again, ain't no problem, man. Like I said, I appreciate y'all coming. But again, go to akachicomics.com and I will holler at y'all later. Thanks for spending time with me. I'll probably be back, hopefully, if I'm not busy, Wednesday or Thursday. But Sunday will be my day for sure. Sunday for sure. I'll be back and talking about all the stuff that we went through and keeping y'all up on everything that's going on. So I will holler at y'all later. Go to the website, akachicomics.com. Peace.